Remember when I used to come in, have a drink? It was a good time.
Now you're sober.
3 weeks of fucking sobriety. I'm eating chocolate coins. It's fucking... All right, let's just do this.
Play action fakes it for Patriots. Yes, touchdown.
Hi, and welcome to Geno's Picks. So nice of you to come back, especially after my 1-4 week 7. How do you think little Six feels? She opened up 4-0, and after that last week's miss, she is 0-3. But maybe that's the barometer, as Daddy usually follows suit with his little lady, because prior to the past 3 weeks in which Daddy has gone 5-10 for a rocky 33% against the spread, I was in an incredible 37-13 run of 74%. It goes in fucking waves, and real gamblers know that. It's weird, though, because when I was kicking ass like that, no one was busting my balls. But the past 3 weeks, again, everyone's like, you always lose. I won every one of my picks. Yeah, why don't you take some of these gold fucking doubloons? Now, let's get to the fucking picks. That was pretty good with the gold coins. Wasn't we like that? Yeah. You know what would be better? You know what would be great? If Berg just ran in here and started scooping them up going, precious. All right, let's go. You ready? The Seahawks are getting 3 and a hook from the Atlanta in Atlanta. Who's my proofreader? Get my proofreader in here right now. Oh, I forgot. It's fucking Steve's dullard girlfriend. That seems right. That's from the Falcons in Atlanta. Really? You're telling me the listless Falcons, who are not only 1-6 on the season, but have lost their last 5 games by an average of 13 plus points, including home losses of 14 to the Titans and just last week to the Rams by 27. You know why? Why are they getting 3.5? Shouldn't they be embarrassed to even show up in front of their home fans? Tell me what I'm fucking missing. I'll tell you what I'm fucking missing. Alcohol. God damn it, I miss alcohol. I used to wake up and have alcohol. You don't realize it till you wake up and stop having alcohol. Well, here's a sobering fact. Fucking Matt Ryan didn't practice Wednesday. That's a segue. Fuck you, Bill. Matt Ryan didn't practice Wednesday. Yesterday, if you're watching this tonight. Or actually, no, because it's tonight and now it's Friday. What happened? And if Dan Quinn has any sense at all, he won't be on the field Sunday. Not only because fucking Matt Ryan would be facing a bruising Seahawks defense, but the Falcons have a bye next week. Give the guy fucking 2 weeks off that ankle. But that doesn't mean we won't see Ryan Sunday, because Quinn isn't worried about what little sense he has left as much as he's worried about the fucking money, the future dollars he will lose when he gets fired for flying the Falcons into the ground. And if Ryan can't go, his replacement will be 38-year-old backup Matt Schaub, whose last start was December of 2015 when he was with the Ravens. And if Quinn has to start Schaub, well, you know what it'll do? It will cut the Falcons' probability of winning in half from 2% to 1%. Because the problem is the fact that Ryan the problem isn't the fact that Ryan is on the sideline. It's the fact that Quinn still is on the sideline. He needs to go. In the meantime, take the Seahawks and lay the 3.5. That's going to be 7 at kickoff. My next pick, the Colts are giving 5 and a hook to the Broncos in Indy. This is a fun one. Fun fact, in what was an absolutely brilliant move a few years, when what was really a good move a few years ago, the NFL moved its trade deadline from just after week 6 to just after week 8, which proved to be a win-win for the NFL as much as gamblers. Why? Because there's a big difference between being 2-4 after week 6, when you're like, and 2-6 after week 8, because when you're 2-4 on the season, it's like being in a failing relationship in the early stages. You lie to yourself and you say there still may be a chance, and you hold on to everything when you know it's not working. But when you're 2-6, that's the end of the relationship. When all bets are off, you know it's over, and you just go limp. I mean, not during the hate fucking. During the hate fucking, you are rock fucking hard for that shit. I think you should die. Yeah, the Broncos know it's over. And speaking of fucked and rock hard, the Broncos knew they were fucked after last week's loss, as they sat at 2-5. And then we come to find out later, we're between a rock and a hard place with Emmanuel Sanders, who demanded a trade. So they shipped Sanders off to the Niners for a 3rd and 4th rounder next year, because they're all about 2020. Meanwhile, the Colts are quietly one of the best teams in the AFC over the past season. Literally the past season. They're 13-3 over their last 16 games, with their last 2 wins coming against a pair of AFC rivals in the Texans and Chiefs, who were both in the playoffs last year. The Colts are the horse to go with in this race, and you know what? Daddy wouldn't put a buck on the Broncos. Come on! Take the Colts and lay the 5 and a hook. Tell me the football team I said I'm not going to pick again.
The Browns.
Well, why don't we talk? Speaking of the Browns, the Patriots are giving 13 to the Browns at Foxborough. Yup, I'm doing it again. Because I just don't care what side of the fucking line the Browns wind up on. At least I get to brag about the one thing I've been consistently right about. How ridiculously overrated the Browns were coming into this season. I told you Baker Mayfield would be a good QB someday, but that he was wildly inaccurate, and he proved my point when the only thing he improved on coming into this season was the number of picks he has thrown. Tell me, how do you think these numbers? Mayfield has thrown 5 TDs. How do you like this? And a league-leading 11 interceptions. And he'll be going against the Patriots defense. Have you seen this? That's been insane. They've taken the ball away from quarterbacks 18 times and have allowed 1 passing TD all season, which is fun because that's how many Beckham has caught. We'll get to him. And you think that isn't going to further infuriate Odell Beckham Jr., who I was also right about saying he was a selfish player and a distraction, which he has also proven earning 3 fines, all for ridiculously look-at-me things. He wore a watch during a football game. He wore a gaudy face mask that was forced to be removed, and he wore pants that were too short. What do you need these for in a football game unless you want fucking attention? He may as well get fines on Sundays because he sure isn't fine the rest of the week, complaining he's not getting the ball enough. Let me tell you something. He has 3 penalties and 1 TD. A typical OBJ TD. A meaningless 89-yard flashy slant for the decisive final score in a 23-3 blowout against, who was it? The Jets. The Jets. Colin Cowherd said it last year. In fucking games where his 16 statistically best games, his team, the Giants, were 5-11. He doesn't care. Am I done? No. Because this week the Browns added another distraction. Because the one guy that does work in this offense, and who is by far better than Mayfield and Beckham, is Nick Chubb. The offense should run through this guy. The same way the Panthers offense works better now because of a no-name quarterback named Kyle Allen that allows Norv Turner to feed the ball to Christian McCaffrey without having to feed the ball and Cam Newton's ego. Do you understand? And all this tells me is that Freddie Kitchen has regressed because a year ago he was a running backs coach. I can never say runnings back. A running backs coach. And you would think he would remember how well Chubb works. Instead, now he has added the distraction of Kareem Hunt, who was back at practice this week. I guess they thought it was better to have him kicking around with the dudes at the Browns complex than kicking around the bitches at his apartment complex. He kicks bitches. Funny thing is, as angry as I am with the Browns, they didn't fire me like they did Bill Belichick. Anyone else think he's going to have a little fun making the team everyone foolishly thought would make them forget they fired him burn like the Cuyahoga River? I'm saying it. Take the Patriots and lay the 13. How many shekels we have left? Let's wrap it up. The Dolphins are getting 14 and a hook from the Steelers in Pittsburgh. Now, a lot of people may ask, why is the line so big? The line is so big because the Steelers have Mason Rudolph back, but he has yet to play since nearly having his brainstem removed by Earl Thomas a couple weeks ago. And 2, the Finns have Ryan Fitzpatrick, who played so well last week. And in case you didn't notice, Geno, the Dolphins actually led the Buffalo Bills entering the 4th quarter of Sunday. Yeah, he did. And he played just well enough to prove my point yet again that Fitzpatrick only plays well when it doesn't matter or no one is looking. And by keeping that game close, he did the worst thing he could possibly have done. He earned the job again and made it his job to lose, which is what he will do this week. At least he'll play badly enough to lose that job. There's no telling what Brian Flores will do because he's the dumbest coach in the NFL. So yeah, I'm going with the black and yellow Monday night because I'd rather put my money on a QB who may have brain damage rather than put it on a head coach who fucking definitely does. Take the Steelers, lay the 14 to hook. Those are Geno's picks, and they are golden, pony boy.
You're so angry when you don't drink.
You get angry when you drink.